Most of us aren't lost because we lack ability. We're lost because we lack direction. We wake up, we move, we work, we push, we chase, and by the end of the day, we feel tired but not fulfilled, busy but not advancing, exhausted but not evolving. Deep down, we know why. Movement without purpose is not progress. It's simply motion. And motion without a plan is just a sophisticated way of avoiding the truth. We live in a culture that celebrates hustle. Long hours, late nights, endless effort, they're applauded. But effort without intention is like rowing a boat without knowing where the shore is. You can row harder. You can row faster. But if you don't know the direction, all you're doing is drifting with more intensity. A plan is not just a schedule. A plan is a decision. It's the moment you stop reacting and start leading. Most people don't fail because they chose the wrong path. They fail because they never chose one at all. They let circumstances, moods, or fear decide. When life shapes you instead of you shaping life, progress becomes accidental rather than intentional. And accidental progress is unreliable. A plan doesn't guarantee success, but the absence of a plan almost always guarantees stagnation. Without a plan, every distraction feels tempting, every excuse justified, every delay reasonable. The danger isn't chaos, it's comfort. The comfort of saying, "I'll figure it out," instead of committing to clarity. Clarity demands courage. Forces you to answer uncomfortable questions. Where are you going? Why does it matter? Who must you become to get there? Most people avoid these questions not because they're hard, but because the answers remove their excuses. A plan exposes self-deception. It replaces vague intentions with measurable direction. It turns hope into structure. Without a plan, you rely on motivation. Motivation is emotional. It rises and falls. A plan is disciplined. It doesn't care how you feel. It cares only about who you've committed to become. That's why a plan is powerful. It outlasts mood, survives doubt, and guides you when inspiration disappears. Progress doesn't come from bursts of enthusiasm. It comes from quiet consistency. And consistency exists only when direction exists. Many people pride themselves on being busy because it feels like progress. But busyness is often a disguise for lack of clarity. When you don't know what truly matters, everything feels urgent. When you don't have a plan, everything feels important. And when everything feels important, nothing is prioritized. A plan creates hierarchy. It separates the essential from the noise. It teaches you what to say no to. And saying no is one of the most underrated skills in progress. Every yes to distraction is a no to growth. Every unplanned decision costs momentum. Every unfocused hour weakens your trajectory, but a plan anchors you. It becomes a compass when the world tries to pull you in 1,000 directions. It reminds you not just what you're doing, but why you're doing it. A plan creates hierarchy. It separates the essential from the noise. It teaches you what to say no to. And saying no is one of the most underrated skills in progress. Every yes to distraction is a no to growth. Every unplanned decision costs momentum. Every unfocused hour weakens your trajectory, but a plan anchors you. It becomes a compass when the world tries to pull you in 1,000 directions. It reminds you not just what you're doing, but why you're doing it. Purpose is what gives a plan its strength. A plan without purpose is a prison. A plan rooted in meaning becomes a guide. It becomes a contract between who you are and who you refuse to remain. Progress isn't a dramatic leap. It's a series of small, intentional choices repeated over time. Those choices don't happen by chance, they happen by design. Design requires thought. Thought requires clarity, and clarity requires honesty. Ask yourself not just what you want, but what you're willing to sacrifice. Every plan demands a price: Time, comfort, old habits, familiar excuses. Most people want the reward without redesigning their routines. They want outcomes without changing systems. But real progress comes when you stop managing outcomes and start designing processes. A plan is a system for becoming. And becoming is not glamorous, it's repetitive, quiet, inconvenient, and powerful. When your environment aligns with your plan, progress becomes inevitable, not fast, not always visible, but consistent. Consistency compounds. The greatest transformations are rarely loud. They happen in silence, in discipline, in moments when no one is watching. You choose to honor the plan anyway. That's where identity is forged, not when you feel inspired, but when you feel tired, not when it's easy, but when it feels pointless. That's the difference between someone who dreams and someone who builds. Dreamers wait for the perfect moment. Builders create momentum inside imperfect conditions. Momentum is born when direction meets action. A plan turns fear into focus, overwhelm into steps, and ambition into movement, not because the plan is perfect, but because it exists. Progress doesn't require perfection, it requires alignment. Alignment between intention and action, values and behavior, today and tomorrow. When you operate without a plan, each day becomes a negotiation with yourself. Should I continue? Should I stop? Should I try again tomorrow? With a plan, the decision has already been made. You are executing a commitment, and commitment changes behavior. It changes how you spend your time, the company you keep, and the standards you tolerate. A plan forces you to evolve to the level of your vision. When you operate without a plan, each day becomes a negotiation with yourself. Should I continue? Should I stop? Should I try again tomorrow? With a plan, the decision has already been made. You are executing a commitment, and commitment changes behavior. It changes how you spend your time, the company you keep, and the standards you tolerate. A plan forces you to evolve to the level of your vision. Evolution is uncomfortable. Comfort zones are predictable, growth is not. But the discomfort of discipline is temporary. The discomfort of regret lasts far longer. People who progress understand this. They don't romanticize spontaneity. They respect structure. They honor process. Progress is systematic, not spontaneous. If you want different results, you need different systems. If you want growth, you need guidance. If you want progress, you need a plan. Not a vague idea, not a wish disguised as a goal. A real plan is specific, intentional, measurable, and owned. It lives not just in your mind, but in your habits. Because the plan is not what you say you'll do. It's what you repeat. And what you repeat becomes who you are. The question isn't whether you want progress, everyone does. The question is whether you're willing to plan for it when enthusiasm fades, comfort beckons, and excuses sound logical. No plan, no progress, but with intention, clarity, discipline, direction, progress becomes not just possible, but inevitable. Many resist planning as if it's a cage, romanticizing spontaneity as if randomness is freedom. But freedom isn't found in chaos, it's found in clarity. When you know where you're going, you no longer fear silence or stillness. You no longer fear choosing one path over another. You walk with intention, and intention is deliberate, not accidental. Most people don't fail loudly. They fail slowly, quietly, one unplanned day at a time, one postponed decision after another, one reasonable excuse after another. The tragedy isn't dreaming too big, it's planning too little. They don't lack ambition. They lack alignment. Alignment between what they say matters and what they practice daily. Alignment between the future they want and the habits they tolerate. A plan is the bridge between potential and reality. Without it, people live suspended between the two, always preparing, almost ready, always waiting for the perfect moment that never comes. Progress doesn't respect comfort. It respects commitment. Real progress is quiet. It's repetitive, methodical, and often invisible. Without a plan, every obstacle feels like a wall. With a plan, obstacles become data, feedback, guidance. Progress is a disciplined curve guided by intention. Structure allows intention to survive. Progress isn't about talent, luck, or timing. It's about the courage to decide where you're going and the discipline to honor that decision when no one is watching. The loudest progress is silent excuses are loud, comfort whispers, and yet action still wins. That's the power of a plan. It becomes your quiet authority, your internal compass, your standard when chaos distracts. No plan, no progress. This isn't a slogan. It's reality. Progress is never born out of randomness. It's cultivated, chosen, designed long before it's ever visible. Yet we glorify momentum without meaning, speed without direction, activity without intention. That's why people exhaust themselves without advancing. They move, but they don't progress. A plan prepares you for doubt, fatigue, and resistance. It transforms obstacles into information and setbacks into guidance. It creates a system that moves you forward even when confidence fades. Progress is structural, not emotional. You build a disciplined life not on feelings, but on decisions. A plan makes decisions visible, shows what deserves your time, transforms ambition into tangible direction. Success is designed, not random. Undefined goals create undefined effort, which produces undefined results. Structure anchors your effort and gives clarity. Clarity allows you to say no to what doesn't matter. It fuels patience when results are slow because progress is cumulative. Small actions aligned with a clear plan become unstoppable over time. Small actions without a plan are forgettable. Planning is courage. It's responsibility. It changes the way you think, act, and respond to challenges. Without a plan, every obstacle feels discouraging. With a plan, obstacles become feedback. Progress is behavioral. It's built through repeated action. Repetition creates identity, and identity defines who you are. A plan connects the present with the future. It anchors you while guiding you forward. It transforms motion into meaningful progress. Growth is often silent before it's visible. Discipline grows like a seed, quiet, patient, inevitable. A plan nourishes that growth and protects consistency. Without a plan, life happens to you. With a plan, you shape it. Shaping life is an act of courage to decide who you will become before the world tells you who it wants you to be. To move with purpose instead of speed. To embrace quiet, patient, deliberate progress. Direction beats effort. Clarity beats speed. Design beats desire. No plan means no foundation. And without a foundation, every step collapses. But when you build with purpose, when each action aligns with something larger than today's emotion, your life stops feeling scattered, work stops feeling heavy, and progress stops feeling accidental. Progress is never about doing more. It's about doing what matters most, and what matters most only reveals itself when you plan. No plan, no progress. With a plan, you don't just move forward, you move with meaning.